Hi everyone, it's Marquet here, Lemon Creation. Welcome to my channel, and today it's art journal on budget. Really on budget. So stay tuned. So let's have a look at the products I'm gonna be using. So as you can see, there are the products which you can find at home apart from the acrylics. But I believe that everybody has some kind of paints at home, and I couldn't replace them because for this video I really wanted to use things which we can find at home or around home, and things which we don't have to buy. So it's very much on budget. No stamps used, no ink, only the paints and the notebook with the black pages. But once again, that everybody has at home. I'm using PaperArtsy chalk acrylics, and I really love them. They are having the chalk finish, obviously, so they are not glossy. So this is something I really like, and I'm gonna be so experimenting. You have no idea, because this is the very first time I'm actually gonna be using pieces of grass. I don't know the weeds, or I have no idea how they are actually called, the long branches of, I know it's a type of grass, but I have no idea what kind of type of grass is it. And then some pieces of packaging, and here is the other idea I came up with. I'm laughing because it didn't really work great, but basically what I'm doing is I'm coiling the wire around the old brush, and I decided to dip it in the paint. As you can see, I have my white Snowflake acrylic already on the palette, and I wanted to do some kind of mark makings on the page. I imagine it a little bit differently, and I was actually thinking to maybe do things on the side first and see how it goes. But I said to myself, I'm gonna chance it. If it doesn't work, I'm not gonna make the film, and if it works, then I'm happy. And on top of that, I didn't fancy just washing everything later on and remaking it for the purpose of the video, and once again washing it. So I said to myself, okay, let's go like that, and we're just gonna go completely, spontaneously, and try to see what the household objects can give us. So as you can see, piece of wire and the brush and and acrylic. It does kind of has a pattern, no? It is a kind of mark making, but I think it's not my type of thing. Yes, as you can see, I am already completely dirty. The brush is completely dirty. I'm a messy crafter. That's why I like grunge, and I am not ashamed to say it. So it was not bad, but it was not what I expected. I kind of expected a little bit of a cooler effect, but don't worry, guys. We are continuing, we are going forward with the crazy ideas of mine. I'm using now a piece of packaging. All of those things, the ones you can see on the top screen, they are pieces of packaging I got from different things. Cookies, meat kind of things, or fish, packaging. So I use them. My husband is actually laughing now, because when he opens packaging, he's always asking, do you want a little bit of that for your scrapbooking purposes? So I'm using, as you can see, the brush I used for the mark making, because I didn't want to go and have the whole bunch of things to clean later on. I'm that lazy. I am not that lazy, actually. I have so much work that I try to avoid, doing extra things if I can help it. But the part I used before, it was already kind of dry, and so I said I'm gonna go and just finish with the same brush. And for that, you don't have to have a good brush. Actually, the worst one is the best. Well, worst one, the bristles have to be still, not completely dry, but you don't need a very good brush. And as you can see, yes, I had a small movement here, but as you can see, the page goes quite nicely. And here we go, another piece of packaging, and it's very cool because I have two different patterns I can make from both sides. So one side is raised and the other is not. I don't know the opposite of the word raised at the moment, I forgot. And so I'm showing you now the two different effects I got. The first one is on the bottom, and now you see the other one. So guys, don't be afraid to use the household items, and we are doing or talking so much about recycling, upcycling and all of that, and why not? And I am really for it. And also for all of you who are starting, who are also like to experiment and who are not having that much money, this is a way to go. I was showing you a piece of this yellow thing, which I'm not sure even where it came from, but it's just, you know, I thought it's gonna be too messy and it's gonna give me a very similar pattern to what I had before. And when I was browsing through my drawers by accident, I found this kind of piece of wood, which, you know, it's also quite achievable for all of us who are on the budget. And I decided to try it, and look at that, guys. I'm very happy I did, but I have to tell you, the more layers of paint you put on it, the less you're gonna get these beautiful circles from the wood. So just bear that in mind. But otherwise the effect is really, really cool, and I was surprised. As you can see, the last circle didn't work perfectly, but this one, the first one, is just perfection. So here is another thing I'm gonna be using. As I told you, those are the long kind of grass thing. I've seen already people working with twigs, with a lot of twigs, or kind of, I don't know, kind of a sort of brush, I don't know, made out of these things. But I've never done it. So now I'm just, you know, banging this thing onto the work surface, because I want to see if it's actually not falling apart, you know, the smaller grains and all of that. And I am going for the Smurf color this time, because I had enough of white. And it actually, and this one I think is a wheat, but I'm not sure. And, or something similar. It could be wheat, I'm not sure really. I mean W-H-E-I-T, because I don't know how I am pronouncing that, guys. And so look at that, it's just very cool effect. It didn't match my page, I have to admit. To me, it didn't match my page, but since I started doing it, I didn't want to stop. But what would you say if I told you that this, I think, would be a beautiful thing to do like a rainy kind of sky? So some kind of like a rainy layout. I think it just looks very nice, like a kind of rain falling down. And so I like it very much. This second kind of grass didn't work too much. It's a little bit too, what's the word? It's just going all over. It's like, you know, it's not too tough, I think. So it doesn't give the good effect. It's a little bit similar to the first one, but with less effect and more work. So this is also the thing, you know, to get something, you know, how something works, you have to experiment. And so I decided also to use this spoon. By the way, at the very end, when I was cleaning it, I broke it. But I had a spoon like that, and I just decided to make a small dots. And with this spoon, I actually try on the palette to see what would be the effect, because I said, okay, I don't want to waste the page. So here is the effect. It actually gives me like messy circles, like my new stencil. And so, as you can see, you can get an effect in between nicely done circles and a splatter. So a little bit bigger circles, and like that, you know, you can really just go with your imagination and find things. And this is the thing I like the most, even though it completely wasted my page, I think. Let's be honest, this is really grunge, messiness even, and this just gave such a beautiful flower. It's a poppy, yes, it's a poppy pod, and look at that. I never thought I can get this effect with the poppy pod. I don't know, my camera doesn't want to focus, but it's just a beautiful circle with, you know, with this rays going out from it. So I really, really like it. But I'm gonna stop here, and you're gonna see how much I'm gonna work around it to, you know, to fix it. And once again, just because I am experimenting so much with this page, I decided to go till the end by experimenting. So now I just, it's not even laziness, I just wanted to see how is it to actually draw lines with the, you know, with the, this branch. It's not a good word, I think, branch, but anyway. So you can do it. And all I wanted to do is actually break a little bit these beautiful flowers I got from the poppy, because they were completely not matching my page. My very, very, very messy, grungy page. So here are my focal points. Well, there was like a big bunch of my focal points, which I explain in my video. I'll try to give you a link to this video in the description box below, from where I'm taking them, how am I printing them, and that I'm putting them on a kind of a cardboard paper with the repositionable glue. So like that, at any point I can take them out, look if they fit the page, and if they don't, I'll put them back in. And so that is super cool. But for just in case if I don't find the video, I'm taking my images usually from pixabay.com, and I'm printing them on my normal printer at home on the matte paper, not moto, matte paper. As you can see, I use just a simple black permanent marker. I think this one is to blacken the edges, so like that there is no very big contrast between the black page and the girl. And I decided to use a third color from PaperArtsy, chalk acrylics. Always mix them up, because sometimes they are not well mixed, and you know, I should know that already, but I am getting sometimes confused. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of this rainy effect to the page. And the reason for doing that is that, as you've seen the girl, which I think matches very well the page, the girl has red accents, her lipstick, the red color on the palette. So I said there has to be some red accents on my page as well, to really very well manage to, you know, to fit them together. So it's like all coherent and what not. So yes, as you can see, I'm using again my piece of grass, my piece of wheat, and adding a little bit of this rainy effect, and once again the spoon, because why not, a little bit of dots. And I've made a mistake in one of the places. My dot got a little bit too big, and I think you're gonna see that just about now. Yes, that's the one on the white spot I really didn't like. So with acrylic you can always use a baby wipe and just wipe it a little bit, but because they are acrylics, there is usually gonna be a trace. So here I am trying to fix my my mistake, and too much white now. So again I am trying to remove it with the baby wipe, and I was working in this part of the page for quite a long time because I really didn't appreciate just, you know, this kind of a white and red blob in the middle kind of the page. And now a quick drying, because those are acrylics, so they dry very, very quickly. That's why you cannot recover if you made a mistake. And yes, next step would be to put this lady onto the paper and add a little bit of sentence to go with it. And if you know me a little by now, you know that I really like the sentence to match the page, because for me that's art journaling. I'm not really writing too much of my feelings and stuff like that. I am just trying to portray something and then add the proper sentence to finish up the page. But before I did that, I actually add a little bit of splatter. I have to say I like grunge, but this is by far one of my messiest pages. They are not my favorite ones. I like the page to be a little bit more perfect than that. This one is not. But guys, once again, I am pushing you towards experimenting, because that's how I'm learning. And that's what I'm enjoying the most, I think. Sometimes I come up with things I haven't had a clue they exist. And this is so cool, I find it. I apologize, I don't know what's happening with my camera here. I think I had too much space taken by the photos and videos, and so it's a little bit blurry for a few seconds, but it's gonna come back to its normal self in a moment. And so I glued the girl just with a normal glue stick, and I added the sentence which comes from my really silly words. So as I promised, I didn't want to make all the videos about my products, so this is only one small tiny thing I used, but you know, you can always print out your own sentences and or get it something from the old book or newspaper. But as you can see, I haven't finished completely. Very rarely I do something after putting the sentence already on the focal point onto the page, but I really had a problem with this blob of red and black and white, on the top of the page. So I started to add a little bit more of white with my finger this time. Why not? And I have to tell you that it didn't work well. I was thinking it's gonna look better, it didn't. And the whole problem was that there was too much white. So, you know, if you have too much white, how can you fix it? You add a little bit of black accents. But since my page is black already, I was not sure. I didn't really want to add black paint, because it would be a different color of black, the black paint, than the actual paper. The paper is not really that black. It's kind of a like a graphite color, I'm not sure. So first I took my pencil, but the pencil was too, I don't know, not crisp enough, I think. And so I took finally my fine liner, and I added a little bit of lines which are crossing each other, because it's kind of all about that on the page. There are some circles, but there is also a lot of squares and all of crisscrossing lines. So I add that to break these white spots, which I really didn't like it. And finally, I can breathe. The page, I think, is not that bad. It's very grungy, I'm not saying. And with the hindsight, I wouldn't probably put the, you know, the wooden circles, even though they are beautiful, nor the pots, you know, the ones from the poppies. But as I told you, I was experimenting. So next page, it's possible I'm gonna do it also with like household and garden objects, but it's gonna be a different one, I think. A little bit messy, and well, we'll see how it goes. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It's kind of a very funny video, I think. I hope I'm gonna see you in my next video. For all of you who didn't subscribe, please do so. I really appreciate every support you can give me, and as always, I'm gonna leave you the link to my tiny online shop with all my designs in the description box below. I'm sending you big hugs and see you soon. Bye bye.